What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to the Diablo Research Institution. I am your host, Professor Ice Dak. Appreciate you guys coming by. Like this video if you will, subscribe to the page, and swat that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. May you have many wives. Links in the description below, and may your contributions be brought back to you sevenfold. Condolences of the Creator. So we're in a pretty interesting state thus far with Diablo 4 Season 5. I've been having a damn good time. I love this game. What do you guys think about it so far? I started off as the Druid for Season 5, and I went Cataclysm build, just the lightning storm skill where you hold your staff out and just lightning blasts all over the place. Cataclysm with lightning all over, just following you, and tornadoes. You felt like the god of thunder. But as mentioned in my previous videos, the Druid is, how do you say? I'm trying to keep these videos politically correct to an extent, just in case if I get hired by Blizzard to be a head executive, because I know that I've pondered that in previous videos. We need somebody to help make this game great again. Or great at all. It's getting there though, but I mean, I could give it some good help if needed. So how do I be politically correct when I say this? The Druid is fat as fuck. So again, that kind of bothered me. I mean, I was willing to play it for a while, but I do like characters that are aesthetically pleasing. If you're gonna be staring at them all damn day, it just adds to the immersion a bit and the interest. You know, it spikes interest to an extent, which is why that stuff always sells. You know, we like visually appealing things, okay? It's not rocket science. It's basic nature, perhaps human biology, if you will. But we need all the different types, you know, because it really adds flavors to the mix. You know, it's good to have ugly as a choice, because then you can know what beauty is. You know, if there was no ugly, it's just, there wouldn't be variation, you know what I mean? So you can have your thick-boned druid, all right? You can have your lunch lady druid with boils all over her skin and bodybuilder arms, and you can have that. But I also want to have the one that I want. So, just a side note. Point being, from there then I went to the Necromancer, who doesn't look half bad, really. The chick. Again, I have my criticisms, but nonetheless, it's a summon necro. It's been a good time. I've been doing the Infernal Horde, great event, just chill in one area and just kill a bunch of shit constantly. It's a good time. But of course, there needs to be more. So in this video, I'm going to go over 6 things that I think Diablo 4 could use that would make this a better game. And if you guys have any better ideas, I would like for you to let me know in the comments below, or just any ideas at all as to what you think would help make this game great. So the first thing on my list, it's not extremely important. Some of these vary. Some of them are really important. Some of them are just, you know, nitpicks or whatever. But loadouts. Now, I don't think we should have the loadouts like what we had in Diablo 3, where you could just go to your wardrobe or whatever and just select whatever, and you're instantly in that build with all your skills just so freely all the time. Because then it's just going to be like, no matter what you're doing, you're just going to simply always be optimizing your build. You have to go back to the damn stash, click the button, zap into your build. You're going to have a loadout build for bosses, loadout build for pits, loadout build for Helltides, this and that. So I think there needs to be some consequence for it. Some cost, you know? And I guess at this point it might as well be a gold cost. I know a lot of folks aren't going to be with me on that, but I just, you know, if it's just free and instant, then it's going to become a chore. You know, you're going to have to be like, oh, okay, my buddies want to go fight Uber this or that, so I got to go and switch into my other build. I think it should more be a thing where, like, it's more of a long-term choice to a bit more of an extent, where, okay, I have the loadout build already made with all the passives, all the little skill nodes, and the Paragon, and all the gear, and you could have like a loadout stash or something. a separate stash that's a loadout stash, so you can hold all your stuff in there. So as long as you don't take it out, it'll load up to your character when you tell it to. But it's going to cost you some, you know. I think it should cost you some, so that we're not then just stuck to always be optimal and forced to make the frickin' build. So I don't know what it should cost. I mean, it's going to have to be relative to the gold coming out in the game, you know. So at this point, I don't know, maybe 10 million gold, you know. Maybe that's too little, maybe that's too much, but let me know what your thoughts are on that. Another thing that I think the game needs are chase items. I know I've mentioned this in previous videos. I made some where I was really, really bitching about it. How they're just making everything too accessible. It used to be back in the day with Diablo 2, for example, you'd play the whole season and not find everything. You know, there'd be a lot of things you wouldn't find. They'd have runes that were part of this whole thing, and the runes could make the best items in the game. So you had to find like 3 or 4 or 5, or in some examples, 6 runes to make one item, 6 at max. All right. So it was like a treasure hunt. It's like, oh my God, I found the Burr rune. Now I just need to find the Jaw rune to make an Infinity, or to make an Enigma armor. And the Ith rune's easy to get. That's a low level rune. You know, there are tiers of rarity in the runes. So it was like you're like a squirrel, then you're like collecting shit, and you feel like you're gaining value to make potentially something really big and powerful, and not just in terms of a numbers increase. The fun thing about the runes were they were beyond just numbers increase, like what we see in Diablo 4 right now, with like the ancient items or whatever the hell we call them. Just the same damn item, it's just the numbers are a little higher, you know what I mean? Or the mythic items don't do that, but the greater affix items is what they are, you know? So the greater affix items, they're cool to find, but they're not like extremely exciting. They don't give you that same dopamine rush that you'd get when you'd find a Burr rune or a Zod rune or a Jaw rune, or even a Cham or whatever else, a Sur rune, you know? When you found that shit, an Ohm rune, a Low rune, Godly rune, make freaking grief out of that shit. One of the best one-handed weapons in the game. But you guys see where I'm going with this? They made it a bit too accessible. Part of my fear was they're kind of catering to toddlers or whatever, casuals, just kids who just always, they want to get the stuff that the big boys have, and if they don't, they're afraid they're going to quit or something. But I mean, I think if they're in a treasure hunting game like what Diablo is, there always needs to be shit to find, you know, because once you find all the shit, for the most part, for most players, the game's over. So yeah, in a treasure hunting game, there always needs to be more treasure that you could potentially find. You know, it's kind of like real life. Like if you're like, I'm going to go explore the oceans, there's a lot of treasure to find out there. But then if somebody were to tell you, well, Iceman, you're never going to find all the treasure because Blizzard made it too impossible. There's just too much treasure, too many things that are of extreme rarity that you'll probably never find. You'll probably find a couple of them, but you're not going to find them all in one season. That's not going to stop me from going out there to find the damn treasure. You know, it's going to fuel my case all the more. Fuel my fire, fuel my drive. I'm going to be like, oh, hell yeah, there's that much treasure out there. I'm going to find at least some of those good things, you know, so I'm going to just dive out in there and do it. So it's kind of attributable to real life in Diablo. You know, that's why, I mean, this is a treasure hunting game, and folks might not realize that, but it really is. And I've bitched about this in other videos. These games are just number crunches, you know, so they don't require much skill, so they end up being just number crunch games. So the skill or the allure has to be somewhere else, and in this case, it's always been the loot with Diablo games. There's some skill involved, but it's not like Mario. It's not like a platforming game where you got to be super precise. You know, it's not like a first-person shooter where you got to be very dexterous and fast. You know, you have 5 skills on a cooldown, you know, so you just button mash and run around in circles, you know. I mean, so the chase has to be something different. And I mean, it goes without saying, this is in a Diablo game, the chase has always been the freaking treasure. It's just how these games work. So yeah, I mean, I think runes would be a good solution for this. I mean, to take it a step further, I think they should add shit that's really rare, like what they had in Diablo 2. I've been playing that game for 25 freaking years, and I still have yet to find Ethereal's Might Armor. I'm still yet to find a Grandfather Sword. You know, I found a Wind Force. I found a Mang Song's Lesson on Project Diablo 2, which is a mod made by fans that gives you players 8 loot, but Or is it players 5? I can't remember on the start. I think it's players 8. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's still, I think that would really add to the game. But anyway, point number 3. I'm not going to take so long on all these. World boss. What the hell happened to the world boss? It's just tedious now. You know, we have to put time aside to do it. You know, you're like, oh, it's going to be at 6:30 p.m., so I'm going to have to be on there. Then I'm going to have to travel to that annoying town. And I'm going to have to ride on the damn horse for a couple miles. And then I'm going to wait, you know, because I want to get there early. I don't want to get there late. Otherwise, I'm going to miss all the shit. And it just doesn't reward you enough now. It used to be fine when we'd kill it in like 5 seconds. And I know that some would complain about that. Maybe I complained about it as well, but they didn't solve it in the right way. Now it gives you the same damn loot that it used to, only it takes 10 times as long to fight the damn thing. It's not like it's doing a ton of damage, in which case I don't think it should. Because again, in a number crunch game, you don't want to do that. If you just make them do more damage, then you're just going to have to make a number crunch character that can handle it, and it's going to force us all into the same damn build eventually. The higher up you go with that, which is the problem. That's what Diablo 3 turned into with the Greater Rifts. There's just like one build. It ultimately turns into one build that can most optimally do the content, and that's just what's super annoying about it. Is it takes away from build variety. So in Diablo 2, you remember the end game? Various builds, not enough, but various builds. If you play Project Diablo 2, there'll be various builds. And you could go down, do the bell run, he laughs at you guys, and you kill him in like 2 seconds, you know? And then you just do it again and again and again and again. I think the world bosses should be something like that, where it's an easy kill, but it's a big-ass boss, and you kind of plan your day around it. And he gives you a lot of loot, you know? It needs to be more loot than what it is. And it's just annoying how long it takes to kill him. It's not like he's doing more damage. It just takes longer to kill them so we can see all their cool animations, but it gets old fast, you know? So I've heard a lot of guys in my comments are saying that they just don't even do the world boss anymore. They say, yeah, it's too tedious, it's too annoying, you got to plan shit around it, and then the reward isn't that big. You get much better reward just doing the torment events. What are they called again? Nightmare Hordes, Nightmare Dungeons, not Nightmare Dungeons, but the torment things. I can't remember what the hell they're called. I just said it a little while ago. But the torment things, the pits, the hell tides, they're just much more rewarding than world boss. So yeah, the world boss, bring that health back to what it was and make it drop a little bit more gear is, I think, what they should do. Because, I mean, what is it? Like every 2 or 3 hours the damn thing spawns. So, I mean, just do that. Point number 4. Not going to go on about it too much. I've talked about this in my previous videos. We need more character customization. I remember when this game was coming out, they're like, oh yeah, you're going to be able to build it your style. Your character's going to be able to look how you want it to look. Oh yeah, that was complete bullshit, you know, because what we get, of course, is just a bunch of woke crap. We get Ugly Face 1, Ugly Face 2, Ugly Face 3, and Ugly Face 4. You know, we don't get any variety. We don't get things that are generally visually attracting. Of course, they're just catering to like the 0.0005% who demand that they're just ugly as fucking fat. You know what I mean? So it's really backwards. It's very deceptive. It's very warped. And but I like that we can have ugly characters, as mentioned, all the more beautiful or visually appealing my characters will be then, if they're standing next to yours, you know, if you're going to have the lunch lady one or whatever. But so I think it's a good thing to have those, but come on, give us the attractive fucking characters, you know. Give us better face models, or should I say more face models with more variety. Just let us change up everything, you know, the structure, the hair, body types, I guess, you know, thin, fat, all that. Just give us more customization. I mean, it's bullshit what they've given us, and they catfished on us on that thing, you know. I should have known. I mean, if you guys have seen what they did with D2R, holy shit. Just look to the Assassin, look to the Amazon, look to Chartsy. It's different, you know. They're not the same people anymore. But this is D4 now going forward, so give us some better looking characters, give us more options, so that we can actually have them be our flavor, whatever the fuck you acted like they could be. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Point number 5. Give us a town hub. Isn't it annoying when you're in a dungeon or the Infernal Horde and you hit the teleport button and it takes you to some random freaking town that's like closer to where you are or whatever? It's just such complete fucking bullshit. You know, I want to go to the same, I want to have a town hub that I can select. Why the hell don't they have this? You know, they had this in games 15, 20 years ago. You know, have a default teleport option where you can always go to the barbarian town or whatever. I like the north town. What's it called? Cavalshad or some shit. I just like the layout. I like the snow. I like the aesthetic. So, I mean, I'd like to go there most of the time, you know? I'd like to have a town hub. Maybe I could explore the old ones later. If I find a better one with shit closer to you and all that, maybe I'd make that my town hub. But, I mean, it's just, are you kidding me? It's season 5, and you're still having us teleport some random fucking town. The problem is you go there, then you don't know where the hell the stash is. You don't know where the hell the blacks. You got to open up your map and start navigating this shit all over again. Whereas, like in World of Warcraft, you'd have a town hub, you know? And Diablo 2, at least you know what town you were going to, depending on what act you were in. So you got familiar with that town pretty quick, and that's how it was. So, I mean, come on, give us a fucking town hub. This is just crazy. Point number 6. Again, it's not that big of a deal with some of these points, but just something I'd like to add. A PvP free-for-all zone. Imagine some new town, maybe in the expansion, maybe in the jungle or some shit, where it has just an open area outside with maybe a few ruined temples or whatever that you could hide around and stuff. And it was just totally free player versus player. It's not like the whole thing where you got to select it like the current PvP zones. You got to do some shit before you can actually fight each other or hit each other. No, I'm talking about like Diablo 2 style or Diablo 1 style, where you're just always freaking hostile out there. Of course, in Diablo 2, you had to select it, but this is a world game now, so it's got to be a little different in MMO. So I think they should just have one little section where you go. Just imagine the shenanigans that would be going on out there. Like you'd have a bunch of guys waiting at the gate, you know, just like back in the day, you'd run out there, they'd blow you up or whatever. But I mean, then you'd get some bigger guys coming in there. It'd just be such a mess. I mean, it'd be fun, you know, it'd be interesting. And maybe have like way in the back of the zone, like a couple chests that are on like timers, like every 20 minutes, they refill, and then whoever the hell is out there can open the damn things. And then while they're trying to grab the items, you can kill them. You know what I mean? Just some, like, why not just kind of let the chips fall where they may in some ways? You know, they're trying to be just so careful with everything. I say add a little bit of chaos to the mix. That's part of what made old games fun. You know, like Diablo 1, sometimes you go down to the cathedral and there'd be some motherfucker waiting right there and he'd just swat the shit out of you with his sword, you know? Now, that would suck if that were throughout the entire game, because then you just have folks camping everywhere, just killing you, won't be able to get anything done. But I'm saying have a zone, a small zone, that's purpose entirely is just free for all PvP, and it has like a couple chests that are on timers. You know, wouldn't that be interesting? And don't make it be like a crazy reward, because you know, you do the Infernal Hordes, it takes you like 6-7 minutes, and you get a ton of chests from it. So I'm just saying a couple chests that maybe drop some interesting shit, and add that to the game, and I think that'd be really interesting. But let me know in the comments, what do you think could be added to Diablo 4 to make it great? Are you enjoying your time so far? I do think Season 5 is the best way to play so far in Diablo 4. I've been having a good time, and I intend to play some more today. Maybe I'll stream some. I don't know. Follow me on my channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Like this video if you will, and peace be with you.